I believe, one of the things I've often heard referred to is the eightfold path of yoga, and that goes to Patanjali, right? Is he the person who articulated that?
Yes, that's right. So what Patanjali did was he basically brought together different strains of the schools and the thought that was already going on in India at the time. So Upanishadic thought, Vedantic thought, Buddhistic thought. He sort of put it all together in 195 very concise lines. And in the second chapter, he lays out the Eightfold Path, which is a great way in, actually, perhaps for any of your listeners who might not be too familiar with Patanjali, for us to talk about that for a minute.
Sure, go ahead.
So there's 8 limbs. A lot of people call them steps, but if we use the term steps, I encourage people to hold it very lightly, because we're not looking for anything particularly linear. So limbs is nice because it's sort of like, a baby growing in a womb, right? All the limbs grow at the same time. And here are the limbs. The first one are the yamas, which are often referred to like as ethical precepts, basically, or, a lot of people think of it as abstinences, but I'm going to list them because it's really, I find why Patanjali starting out on this limb sheds a lot of insight into what we really need right now out of yoga in the West for medicine. So it's non-harming, truthfulness, non-greed, walking in the awareness of the highest reality, brahmacharya, and non-stealing. And why I say we need that medicine right now is because we seem to be struggling morally and ethically. And, the non-harming, truthfulness, non-greed, I think those are things we could learn from strongly. And so again, Patanjali puts that as the first limb. The second limb is the niyamas, which is contentment, purity, tapas, purification, study, self-study and scriptural study, and then Ishvara Pranidhana, which is basically surrender to God. Then he has the asana, which you taught in the 70s, apparently, hatha yoga, the asana practice. And for Patanjali, asana, he only has about 3 sutras out of the 195 on asana, even though we've made it such a big part in the West, excuse me. Because for him, you want to take a comfortable seat in the body in order to move past all the dualities. So that's his third limb. Then he has pranayama, which is the breathing exercises. Then he has pratyahara, the sense withdrawal. And then he has...
What was that? The what?
Sense withdrawal.
Sense of?
Sense withdrawal. Withdrawal, because in yoga, okay. In yoga, what the practice is aiming one towards is to remove the grasping towards objectification, to move the grasping towards objects, and to pull all those thought forms inside, internally, and to even continue to distill the internal thoughts. So it's a layered process of refinement, continuing to go in. And then the last 3 limbs are concentration, meditation, and absorption. Absorption, samadhi, the final limb.